The new Subaru WRX is easily one of the most anticipated cars of 2014, and here it is with big shoes to fill and lofty expectations resting upon its muscular shoulders. Now we're the first in the South African digital sphere to get our mitts on this hot performance sedan, so join us as we find out if it lives up to the rich heritage of its family. Things are already promising on the looks front, with the WRX's aggressive prow being its most flattering angle. On the side, it has an appropriately wide body garnished with dark alloys. Rounding everything off is a pipe quartet playing a very faint boxer thrum and a spoiler that some might find a little too subtle. Hit the start button and it doesn't fire up with the thunderous burble that characterized the old one. You see, some downsizing has taken place. It now features a 2-litre engine similar to the one that does service in the BRZ, rather than the 2.5-litre mill that featured in the old one. But don't worry, because even though it's lost a bit in the trousers department, that slight capacity decrease won't be noticed. It packs 197 kilowatts, which is 3 kilowatts more than the outgoing one, and the torque figure has also gone up. It's now 350 Newton meters versus 343 Newton meters. It kicks like a samurai, but the sensation is a little different this time around. It's a lot more refined, especially with this lineartronic continuously variable transmission. I do wish it were louder though, but Subaru will remedy this by offering you a performance exhaust system as an optional extra. As is the case with most high-performance Scoobies, you get the SI drive system comprising 3 modes. I for intelligent, when you want to save fuel, S for when you're mildly playful, and S hashtag, which sharpens everything up and suits it to spirited driving. It's also worth noting that the suspension is firmer in this new one, but it's still quite compliant over poor road surfaces. Now, as we've noted in previous reviews of Subaru models with this transmission, it works surprisingly well for what it is. There is none of that characteristic CVT drone or indecisiveness. There is a tiny interval of lag before it gets going, but when it does, you're catapulted forward very quickly. The 0 to 100 km/h sprint time is 6.3 seconds, but the manual has a claim time of 6 seconds flat. I would go for the manual not only because it's quicker, but also for that obvious virtue of better engagement. And engagement is what the WRX has always been about. Things are no different here. This is still an authentic driver's car, and that all-wheel drive system gives it an air of balance in the bends that its front-wheel drive counterparts can aspire to. The steering is noticeably less heavy. It now has electric assistance, but thankfully it doesn't feel artificial. You can still be quite precise with your inputs. It relays an assuring amount of feedback, and there's also more fluidity. Getting this thing unstuck is really impossible, and even inducing tire squeal is quite a mission. It just stays planted to the black stuff and it doesn't ever let go. Now let's talk about the practical stuff. The old one was sort of possible as a family chariot. It had a decent boot and fair space for 4 passengers, but they really skimped on the creature comforts, and it was sorely lacking in terms of refinement. That's all changed though, because now you get proper insulation, soft touch plastics, and it feels contemporary. Everything you see here is standard fare as well: daytime running lights, keyless go, leather upholstery, a sunroof, cruise control, climate control, a color information display with novelties like a digital boost gauge, as well as a reverse camera. It's pretty extensive and makes a strong argument in the face of German rivals, which are not only pricier but also charge more for stuff that should be standard. At just under 450,000 Rand, it undercuts most of the alternatives in its arena, packing power outputs greater than 190 kilowatts. It's also worth remembering that this has the added benefit of a sedan body format. If you want the CVT model on test here, add around 20,000 Rand extra. So the new Subaru WRX has become a grown-up, but assuringly it hasn't forgotten what it really is in its process of development. It still has those performance charms that defined its predecessors, and for me it would be the manual derivative with the louder exhaust in this shade. Thank you for joining us on another Sir 4 Cars review. Please get social with us on Facebook, Google Plus and Twitter, or click here to check out some of our other videos. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel over here. Until next time, drive safe.
See you, ZA.